What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece treasure cruise video. And in today's video, we're back with the next treasure map preparation video. It has felt like absolutely forever since we've had a treasure map on global. I think literally it has been like 2 months since a treasure map, so we're finally getting back into the swing of things here, and we are going to be having treasure map Enel. So me just going through this in today's video, I was actually going through the dungeon, and I've got to say this is the most annoying treasure map, I would say, thus far. It's just such an annoying map considering the boosted characters that we do have. So if you have lots of the rare recruits and lots of the legends that are boosted, you are going to be in a little bit of a better position. But in this video, I do have lots of different suggestions for free-to-play players that will enable you to actually beat this particular upcoming treasure map. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down the actual treasure map boss in treasure map Enel, the character that we're all going to be farming for. We'll go through each of the separate bosses, including the final boss, as well as suggesting units along the way and towards the end of the video that you guys can build teams around in order to actually take on some of these bosses. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So let me introduce you guys to the brand new treasure map character, which is going to be Enel. So Enel is a Psy striker driven character, and at max level, at level 99 with his limit break, he has 2,976 HP, 1651 attack, and 358 recovery, with 60 cost like all other treasure map characters, and 5 socket spots when you get him to his max limit break. Now, the reason why this character is so good is because he has such a unique captain ability and a very good special ability, with his captain ability boosting all characters' attack by 2.5 times, and he is guaranteed to deal 56,560 damage inside damage to all enemies, and also recover 510 HP at the end of each turn. So that is fantastic, especially if you want to speed farm content. You can run this guy as your captain. You don't even have to attack. You can literally tap once and you're guaranteed to deal 56,000 damage at the end of that turn. Now, this does stack with 2 NL, so you can get over 100,000 AoE damage just with tapping. And you can use their captain abilities just to do AoE damage to speed, blitz, Fortnite, and easier content in the game. So once this guy comes out and everyone is going to get him maxed out, this is going to be one of the easier ways to farm up content. Obviously, a lot of people still like to use characters like Neptune and Colosseum Neptune to farm content so they can get more EXP, but for people who do use characters like Hody Jones for speed farming their content, this is just another option that people have now for speed farming, which is a very, very big thing for me. I love speed farming, so having a character like this accessible to us now is absolutely fantastic. But it gets even better because this character maxes at 15 turns with his special ability, and with his special ability, he deals 565,600 fixed damage to all enemies and locks your slots for 1 turn. So even just the fact that he does AoE damage with his captain ability, he also does it with his special ability. Once again, you can stack that with 2 NLs, which means you can deal over 1 million damage just with the 2 special abilities alone, making speed farming so much easier. But you don't even have to use this guy as a captain to get the full usage out of this special ability. He actually has 2 very, very good crewmate abilities that actually enhance this character even further. His first limit break ability or crewmate ability is going to reduce his own cooldown by 5 turns when any other crew member on your team uses their special ability. So you can get an opportunity where you can use his special ability multiple times per turn, or even per run even. So this character is insane, yo. He's absolutely bonkers because you can use his special, get 565,000 AoE fixed damage, and then use 3 other specials, and it's immediately up again to then go ahead and deal another 565,000 damage. So treasure map NL is a fantastic unit, and I would highly suggest maxing this character out, as he is going to be like really good in future content like other treasure maps, and just enabling you to farm stuff much easier. He does have a secondary crewmate ability, which isn't as noteworthy. Just treating recovery slots as beneficial for himself as a sub isn't really anything to really note, but his first limit break ability or crewmate ability is absolutely phenomenal. So now let's start discussing these battle rush bosses that you'll be encountering along the way in the treasure map. First of all, we have Shura. Now Shura is a Dex character, and he starts off at navigation level 1 with 660,000 health, and he has a 6200 attack power at the start of nav level 1 as well. At this current time, do not know the incremental HP and attack increases, even for the boss Enel. I just can't seem to find that information anywhere, so that is unfortunate, but do note that they will gain increasingly more health and attack power per nav level. Now his preemptive attack will give 2 random crew members a 3-turn bind, so having max sockets will completely negate this effect. So when you are taking on Shura, ensure that you do have level 3 bind resistance on your crew. And additionally, with his preemptive strike, he does make all of your orbs into block orbs, so having a way to remove them or change them into matching is going to be very beneficial in completing this particular boss. Now every single turn, if Shura is still alive, he is going to bind 2 characters for 4 turns. In the turn after, he'll bind 2 characters for 6 turns, and then the turn after that, he'll bind 2 characters for 10 turns. So you want to kill Shura on turn 1 to enable you to clear this much easier. If he is below 50% health, he's just going to do a 20% health cut to your crew. So in terms of characters that are going to be useful in this particular fight that will enable you to beat it, Treasure Map Ace is 100% the character I would recommend to you guys to enable you to beat it. Not only does he get type advantage against Shura, but his special ability will remove all the block orbs, give you a full board of strength orbs, and treat them as beneficial to your characters, as long as you have a strength, a psi, and a quick character on your crew. So make sure that you do fulfill his condition for Ace's captain effect. So you typically want to run more strength characters on this fight so you can deal more damage to Shura, and as I mentioned before, make sure you have level 3 bind resistance to remove the 2 turns or the 3 turns of bind for your 2 characters on the preemptive strike of Shura. Moving on now to the secondary boss, we have Ohm. Now Ohm is an int character, and he has 540,000 health on nav level 1, and he also starts off with 4200 attack power. His preemptive strike will give you once again a full board of block orbs, and he's going to lock those orbs for 3 turns. Additionally, he gives you a 10% health cut, and he will despair only your captain for 4 turns. So once again, you need someone to remove block orbs, and you need someone to get rid of despair in order to actually start dealing damage to Ohm. On the second turn of the attacks, Ohm will go ahead and deal 1.5 times his attack as damage to your crew, and he's going to randomly shuffle your orbs, which can include block orbs as well. And when Ohm is below 20% health, he's going to deal 3 times his attack as damage to your crew. So once again, you want to be trying to clear the main boss first, Ohm, and that will enable you to clear this particular fight much easier. Now in terms of characters that are going to make your fight a lot easier, definitely the dual character Sengoku and Garp are going to be useful here, as you can go ahead and use their special ability to remove despair, as well as give you a 1.75 attack and orb boost. And then on top of that, you can use the fighter Cerebral Fortnite Pudding that just came out, who will change block orbs into matching, as well as give you a 2.5 times chain lock. So this character combo just works extremely well, and there are other fighter characters that are obviously boosted for this treasure map. I would highly suggest, if you have the Psi Gear 4 Luffy, to run him as either a captain or run him on your team. I would probably run him as a captain, just because Ohm is an int character, enabling you to deal a little bit more damage if you have double Gear 4 Luffy, and then you can run Sengoku and Garp and Pudding as a sub and build a fighter team around that, and that should enable you to beat this particular fight much easier. Moving on to the next boss, we have Gedatsu. This character is a quick unit, and he starts off at navigation level 1 with 450,000 health and having 4,500 attack power. His preemptive strike will give your crew 2 turns of special bind, so you definitely need to bring a character to remove that. And even more so, he also has a 2-turn percent damage reduction shield, which is the rainbow shield. So once again, having a character to also remove that will make your life much easier for this fight. Also, every single turn, he's going to blow away 1 random crew member on your crew for 3 turns. So you definitely need to kill him as soon as possible. Otherwise, he will start blowing away your characters. So that is something to note about this particular fight. Now, in terms of characters that are easily accessible that can help you take down Gedatsu, definitely Raid Zoro and Raid Shanks and Mihawk are both extremely useful here, as you can then go ahead and use your Shanks and Mihawk. They have to be as a sub in order to use their crewmate ability to remove Special Bind on himself, so then you can use his special ability to remove Special Bind on all your other characters, and then you can use your Raid Zoro to remove % damage reduction on Gedatsu's side of the field, and you would have to run some other characters on your crew to give you some matching orbs and maybe a couple of type boost characters or orb boosting characters, but this is the core principle of this team, is to have your Shanks and Mihawk and the Zoro to remove the debuffs and also the buffs and debuffs on yours and the enemy side of the field. And now we've finally made it to the last of the Battle Rush bosses. We have Satori. Now, Satori is a Psi unit, and he starts off at Navigation Level 1 with 650,000 HP, and he has a starting attack power of 4,000. His Preemptive Strike will give himself a 98 turn full debuff protector, so you cannot delay him, and you cannot reduce this character's defense, and you cannot poison this character. Now, after turn 1, he has the potential to do two separate things. He has either the potential to give you a 5-turn attack down and give himself a 5-turn resilience, or he has the chance to give you 3 turns of increased damage taken and 3 turns of recovery down. Now, definitely the second pattern is much easier to get around. If he does the first pattern, it's going to be very, very hard against this guy, so you definitely need to kill him in 1 turn to obviously just make it a lot easier for yourself. If you don't, you're going to have to deal with those really annoying debuffs put on your crew. So definitely have that opportunity there where you can kill him in 1 turn. So you definitely want to be running characters that are int characters. Now, he also has a special interrupt as well. Whenever you use a special that manipulates your orbs, he will poison your crew, and that poison is 500 damage per character per turn. So he will actually give you a pretty decent poison, so you definitely need to kill him as soon as possible, which is actually kind of like a running theme with all of these bosses, is you are trying to aim to kill the main boss as quick as possible. So characters that I would suggest for you guys to be aiming to build teams around that are easily accessible would be characters like Treasure Map Whitebeard, Treasure Map Crocodile, and also the Raid Aokiji. With this particular team, Whitebeard is guaranteed to give you the 2x orb boost, because the enemy does have a debuff protector and they do not have a barrier, so you do not get the type boost from Whitebeard, but you can use your Aokiji to give you a 1.75 times type boost, and then you have Whitebeard to give you the 2x orb boost, and then you can use Treasure Map Crocodile to make him your captain to give you a pretty high base multiply, and also he has the chance to make some of your other orbs matching as well as a captain when he is swapped. So that is also quite a good option here to run mainly an int team where you can deal as much damage as you possibly can in a single turn. And now we've finally made our way to the final boss against Enel. So before we get to the final boss, this is on stage 6, so the second last stage of the fight. You encounter the mini boss Enel. This character starts off at 420,000 HP and 3,800 attack, and his preemptive strike will give you a 4-turn despair to your captain and your friend captain, as well as giving you a 3-turn attack down. Now, the Treasure Map Rare Recruit Garnfor does get rid of all of these particular debuffs, so he is going to be extremely useful for this particular fight. Also, another character that is a decent option as well is 6-star plus Corazon, who does also remove 3 turns of despair and 3 turns of attack down. So yeah, that is a very, very solid option if you do want to run something like that as well. And also, this particular Enel, if you get in below 20%, he will apply a 2-turn full damage immunity. So you definitely don't want to do that. You want to kill this guy when he's above 20%. Otherwise, you do have to deal with the damage immunity, which does give him quite a lot of opportunity to deal some pretty serious damage to your crew. And now we've finally made it to the final boss against the Stage 7 Enel. This character obviously is a Psi unit, starts off at Navigation Level 1 with 1 million HP and 4,500 attack, and his Preemptive Strike will give himself a 99-turn full delay protector, so you can still poison him or reduce his defense, so that's very, very key. Also, for 5 turns, Strength, Psi, and Int orbs will be counted as negative for your entire crew. Also, for 5 turns, he has an end of turn 20% health cut, so every single turn your health will be cut by 20%. Also, there is a 10-turn blindness as well, so there's so many annoying debuffs that you have to get around in order to finally actually kill this character, and 10 turns of blindness does make a lot of characters really annoying to use. I was trying to build teams with Guild Tesoro until I realized that he gives you 10-turn blindness, so Guild Tesoro does obviously have quite a hard time getting around that, so I wouldn't really suggest that. But yeah, 10-turn blindness obviously isn't a debuff that you need to get rid of, but if you do get rid of it, it does make it a lot easier, but definitely not a necessity to get rid of that. When Enel gets below 20%, he will cut your crew's health by 95% and give your crew a full 10 turns of paralysis. So once again, definitely don't get him at low HP, and when you eventually do kill Enel, he'll revive with 30% of his max HP, he has a 3-turn, 200,000 defense up buff, and also has a 1-turn, 5-hit good barrier. And this is the reason why this particular treasure map is very difficult for a lot of people, is because he has so many different things that you have to get around, and you have to run specific characters, and you need to make sure that you have the right characters that are point boosters as well. So there's just so many things in this particular fight that are extremely annoying to get around. If you have Legend Shiki, this fight is extremely easy, but if you don't have Shiki, it can be quite difficult, and you definitely need someone to remove that barrier upon his revive. Otherwise, you are going to be dealing with his extremely annoying specific effects. So yeah, definitely you want to bring someone to remove the barrier, and if you have someone to reduce defense as well, that will make your life a lot easier as well, but that is definitely not a necessity either until you get into reasonably high navigation levels. Now, in terms of characters that are going to assist you in being able to clear this particular treasure map boss a little bit easier, and that are easily accessible, definitely the new raid Blackbeard that is actually arriving within the next 24 hours or so as of me making this video. You need to have him ready to go for this treasure map. Especially if you are free to play, you need this guy ready to go, and if you don't, it is going to be quite hard, because he is, I think, the only free to play barrier removal a character that is boosted in this treasure map. So having him available to you is going to be making it much easier upon his revive, so you can remove his barrier. Also, you pretty much need to run Legend Shiki as a friend captain in order for you to beat this particular treasure map on very high levels, because the reason why he is so good is because Shiki removes a lot of your health, putting you below 10%, which this raid Blackbeard, if you guys don't know what he does, he's a 2 times driven captain, but when you're below 10%, he's a 3.75 driven captain. So with Shiki as a friend captain, you can reduce your health significantly, and Shiki also gives you a full board of recovery orbs, and they're treated as beneficial for your crew. So characters that get a strength, psi, or int orb, they will basically have a matching orb with a recovery orb instead, with Enel's preemptive attack making strength, psi, and int orbs negative. So that is one of the big things with this fight that makes it extremely difficult, is Enel makes all those orbs negative, so it's going to be hard to build teams with that. So with this particular team, what you should aim to be doing is activating your treasure map Big Mom first. You get all those different boosts from her, then you can activate your Shiki, giving you that full board of matching orbs, as well as giving you that health below 10%, and then once you kill him, you can use your Blackbeard special to remove the barrier, and you want to kill him from there. Also, having that Colosseum Gecko Moria, especially if you've rainbowed him with his limit break, is also a very useful character who will enable you to deal 300,000 fixed damage to one enemy twice with his double special effect. So if you have Colosseum Moria maxed out, that is useful. Once again, if you are running Legend Shiki as a friend captain, you need to hit in the specific order of Dex, then Int, and then a Quick, in order to get the 4 times multiplier from Legend Shiki. So there's so many different things that you have to worry about heading into this fight, and I did take quite a long time to try and build a reasonable accessible team that a lot of people should be aiming to build for, and this is the best thing that I could come up with that actually deals a lot of damage against Enel and will actually last a very, very long time, as long as you do continuously find Shiki friend captains, which is going to be the hardest part of this particular team. So let's take this time now to reiterate all of the useful characters that are going to be enabling you to beat these bosses much easier. So against Shura, he gives you block orbs, and he also has a 3-turn bind upon his preemptive. So you definitely need to have level 3 bind resistance on your sockets, and Treasure Map Ace makes this fight much easier, giving you the matching orbs and also giving you the type boost as well. You can run other characters on his crew, such as Treasure Map Gear 4, to enable you to get color affinity boost, which once again will enable this team to do lots and lots of damage. Now, discussing the boss Ohm, he will despair your captain for 4 turns, as well as giving you a full board of block orbs and locking them for 3 turns. So having Garp and Sengoku to remove the despair, as well as giving you a 1.75 attack and orb boost, as well as Fortnite Pudding, making those block orbs into positive, as well as giving you a 2.5 times chain multiplier lock. This particular team core will enable you to beat this fight very, very easily. The third boss is going to be Gidatsu, and with him, he will go ahead and special bind your entire crew for 2 turns, having Shanks and Mihawk to remove that special bind, and then also using Raid Zora special to remove the 2 turns of % damage reduction that Gidatsu has, will enable this specific team core to remove all the debuffs on the side of the field, and then running some other characters like some type or orb boosters will enable this team to beat this fight much easier. The last of the Battle Rush bosses is going to be Satori, and as I mentioned here, he doesn't do anything on turn 1, but he does have a debuff protector, meaning that you can use Treasure Map Whitebeard to get a 2 times orb boost, and then you can also use Raid Aokiji for a 1.75 type boost, and you can switch to Crocodile with your captain if you want to get a higher multiplier and more orbs as beneficial to your crew. But after that first turn, if you do not kill Satori, he has a whole bunch of differing negative, different effects that you do not want to deal with, so you want to kill him as soon as possible, typically on the first turn. And against the final boss, against Enel, this was the team that we were just discussing, but once again, Raid Blackbeard is coming out. Make sure to farm him up. He's going to be very useful in this fight, especially if you are a free-to-play player with not a lot of the other Treasure Map Rare Recruit characters. Legend Shiki Friend Captain is almost a must to make this fight very, very easy. Treasure Map Big Mom will enable you to get enough boost from one single character to be able to KO this Treasure Map Enel very, very easily on some higher difficulty navigation levels. Make sure to use Big Mom special first, and then use Shiki special after it, and then use Blackbeard on his revive. And the final team of the video, this is the best case scenario. So if you have all of these characters, this is the team that I would suggest you to actually run. This isn't the highest point booster team you can get. I believe there is another team that could get slightly higher, but it's literally not by much. But you can get a slightly higher boost, but this team will enable you to beat Treasure Map NL on very, very high navigation levels. So this is the team that I would suggest you guys run if you do have access to these characters. But overall, that is going to conclude this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Now, these type of videos do take an extremely long time to put together, so I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would go ahead and leave a like. But anyways, I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you guys did, ensure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.